Hello friends, Henry Flowers here, Powerful Living Outreach Ministries. I got an exciting treat for you today. My friend, Mr. Business Owner of the club at Harper's Point, one of the best clubs in the greater Cincinnati area. I know I'm biased because I'm a member of this club, but I want to introduce you to him. The man, the myth, the legend in his own mind. Mr. Steve Contardi.
Thank you.
Good morning, brother.
That's pretty tough to live up to that, but I'll do my best. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Good to be here.
Good to see you. So you are celebrating 50 years of business owning Harper's Point Tennis Club.
We are in our 50th year. That's correct.
And what we just alluded to is the fact that not only have you been running this small business, but you've also been doing it with family.
Correct.
Employees as family. Talk to me about that dynamic.
Well, first of all, the kids grew up here playing tennis. They both played. I have 4 children, so I'm talking specifically about my younger children. Mario, who is 44, Katie, who is 43. My older daughters are 54 and 50, and they're in private business. But the younger ones grew up here playing tennis on a very regular basis. Both played Division I college tennis, and they grew up teaching tennis in camps when they were in school, and around the atmosphere their entire life. So it was natural for them to major in sports administration in college, and then segue directly into the business when they got out. So, you know, there are a lot of dynamics to family business. I'm happy to say that we have experienced all of the good stuff that comes along with this, and thus far, knock on wood, we haven't run into any of the negative dynamics that can certainly creep in and complicate a family-run business. And I do have to say this: the big father of our entire business, my business partners are Town Properties. Town Properties are real estate developers here in Cincinnati, primarily apartments, condos, etc., etc.
And those are your partners, they're sponsors?
They're my partners. They are the principal owners of the club, and I am the operating partner. Okay. And that having said, you know, they pretty much give me carte blanche to do what we want to do. So they are part of the family without question. That's Big Daddy who has said, okay, you know, do what you do your thing. You know, there are no boundaries. Just you know, keep it going and do what you want to do. And as long as we like what you're doing, just keep it up. And so they've given us the carte blanche to do that. Well, in comes the next generation with my children, and it's really it. I mean, I'll be 80 years old on my next birthday, and I'm still working 70 hours a week because...
80 years old?
Not quite.
Almost 80 years old and still working 70 hours a week.
Yeah. And I wouldn't be if my kids weren't in the business with me, but that puts like I said, a whole nother dimension on it in terms of mentoring. Okay, but also in terms of satisfaction, sitting back and watching them do what they do and see the adults that they've become and see that, you know, the passion has gone into the next generation as well. So that makes me smile when I come to work every day and I can come in and my kids come in and I'm here with them, and then their kids, the grandkids, etc., etc. I mean, this is I can't say it was my dream, but it certainly is a dream. Okay, I didn't really plan it this way, but it worked out this way, and I'm delighted and I'm happy, and you know, that's what makes me tick at this point.
So tell me about the moment where you said yes to being owner operator of Harper's Point.
Well, I was the tennis director / manager. My partner, Town Properties, and if we go back to 1980, If we look at the financial histories, okay, that's when the bottom fell out of the economy. Huge recession. Okay, and my partners called me in one day and they said, look, you know, you got a handle on this thing. Okay, we're gonna make you partner. Okay, and they threw the keys at me and they said, you're a partner, just do it. Just do your thing. So
was this club already operating?
This club was, well, I was already here. I was here as the tennis director. I was
see.
here as a tennis director. So they basically said, here's the, you know, you've done a great job. Okay, economy is really bad. We have to concentrate on other things. We want you to concentrate 100%. You're an owner. Do it. Okay, and they've been wonderful partners.
They handed you the keys to the
Handed
car.
me the keys, right? Exactly
In
right.
1980.
Yep. And the gas tank wasn't filled up. Okay, it was my job to fill up the gas tank. Okay, we got it filled up.
Yeah.
All right.
So let's talk about the gas tank and what it takes to fill up the gas tank of a tennis
Oh
club.
boy. Oh boy.
So from what I know, and I'm a novice, so just tell you what I know.
You're a pretty darn good tennis player.
Well,
you sing
like
better than
tennis.
you play tennis, but you
There's
sing
no
really
question
good.
about that part. If I could play tennis the way I can sing, I wouldn't be here. Okay, and I'm enjoying being here. So let me just tell you what I know about operating a tennis club. From what I have heard, and I want you to speak to this, it is a very difficult business to turn a profit. I'll just leave it like that.
Well, I think that summed it up pretty good. Okay, it is labor intense and low margins. If we're going to use business terms, okay. And my approach is different. Okay, I'm not in the tennis business. I'm in the hospitality business. Okay, that's the business that I'm in.
Okay, I like that distinction.
When you walk through that door, okay, you are a guest in my home. Okay, and that's how we approach everything.
So let me testify to that then, especially for those of you who are enjoying this podcast. You know, I spent 2 years living in this area. Let's say 3 miles from Harper's Point when I was living here in Mason. Steve, there was a tennis club less than a mile from my house. There was another tennis club about 1 mile from here. And then there's Harper's Point. There's another one, Royal Tennis Court, Queen City, right? Not far from here. So the 20 minutes that it would take me to get here to Harper's Point, Steve, I had access to 3 other clubs. I came here. This was not the least, let me be honest, since we're being honest, this was the most expensive membership. Okay, y'all listen to me, okay? Out of all those clubs that I just mentioned, this was the most, as far as membership fees, court fees, this is the one. I come here and I have been here since I've been here since 2016 when I first moved to Cincinnati. And I continue to be here because of professionalism, amazing facilities, and being here is to be somewhere where someone obviously cares about this business, about tennis, and about people. That's been my experience.
Well, you know, and therein lies the wisdom of my partners. Okay, big real estate developers. Okay, they, by handing me the keys, okay, they involved me at a level that most club operators are not on. Okay, it's not a job. It's not a job. It's my business. It's my business. So, and you know, in fairness to all the other facilities, and part of the reason Harper's is successful is because we're surrounded by other successful tennis clubs. Success brings success.
Okay.
So other clubs, they're all my friends. They all do a good job. We all have a little different niche. Okay, and ours is unique to us. But one of the unique keys, and again, the wisdom of my partners, is to say, okay, if we want somebody to be involved at a level above just business, let's make him a partner. Okay, and it's worked, and that certainly appealed to my interests and to my personality and to my passion. Okay, and then add to it, and this goes in, and you know this having been here, the average tenure of our full-time employee is like 24, 25 years. Okay, my manager in the office, Laura, has been here for 48 years.
Wow. That's your tenure here.
Yes.
Not average tennis in general, but at your facility.
At this club.
Wow.
Club. To put that in comparison, the average tenure of a tennis pro at a club throughout the country is 1.9 years.
1.9.
Yeah. Ali Ismail has been here. He was our tennis director until he decided he wanted to back off a little bit a couple years ago. Been here for 50 years, every single year. Okay, so all of that adds to this quote-unquote family. The family goes beyond just the blood of the Contardi family. It goes to people that have been here and share the passion that we have, and quite frankly, just like to be around people.
That's
so
great.
That's a combination that is just, you know, you nurture it as you go, and this is the way it worked out. So, and again, hats off to partners who recognize that and make sure that we are taking care of our people. Town Properties slogan, and I'm gonna give Town Properties a big. Marvin Rosenberg, Neil Bortz, Lambert Aiken started Town Properties 65 years ago. Okay, Mr. Aiken has passed away. Mr. Bortz is 91. Still goes to work every single day.
91.
All right, but their slogan is, because their apartment's a great place to live. Okay, they own shopping centers, great place to shop. And just a great place to play. All right, so that's the whole theme. The whole theme of the company, all the way across.
Yeah, I love that, because that's, you know, when we talk about this podcast in our ministry, you know, Powerful Living Ministries is about people living the level of life that Jesus talked about in John 10:10. He said there's a thief. He's only coming to do three things. He wants to kill you, steal from you, and destroy your life. But Jesus said, I've come that you have a rich and satisfying life, life more abundantly. That's where we get the idea of powerful living.
Right.
So we're talking about people walking powerfully in peace, having financial strength, right? Good family structure, into where your faith shows up in all of those areas, including your business and where you work. How has your faith played a role in making all of those things work together for you?
Well, I mean, the cornerstone of my faith is treat people the way you want to be treated, and always do the right thing.
Do unto others. I like it.
It's just it's not.
It's in the Bible somewhere. The golden rule,
okay,
somewhere in there.
Yeah. And I'm not going to be able to cite any scriptures or anything like that, but that is how I've tried to lead my life, and I think it reflects in our business with the people that walk through the doors and the people that work for us. Obviously, some of that is coming through because of the tenure of our employees. So
nobody stays at a business for 40 years where they hate the boss.
There may be days.
Okay.
There might be days. Okay, you know, now and then that Italian comes out. That Italian temper might come out a little bit now and then, but I reserve the right to do that occasionally.
Okay, I like it. It says the golden rule. The other part of the golden rule is yes, treat people the way you want to be treated. But if you flip the other side of the golden rule, it says, "He who has the gold makes the rules."
Yeah, they make the rules. Yeah. So you got to trust them to make the right ones. Yeah.
So tell me about those times where. Well, tell us about one time where you've had that tough situation with an employee, whether it was friend or family, and you didn't know how things were gonna go, but this was a moment, there was a confrontation needed with this employee.
I'll take the biggest one of all, okay? Which involves not one employee, but all employees. COVID hits, shut down.
Yeah.
Shut down.
Everything, the whole thing,
Okay?
all over the place.
Not one employee lost 1 penny pay. We carried them all.
You paid all of your
We
employees.
carried every one of our employees through the 13 weeks that we were closed. Carried them all. That's a tough decision, but it wasn't a tough decision. It was a tough financial decision, but it was the right decision. It was the right thing to do. Would it have been easier to do it the other way? But you don't look out just for number one. You become number one because you got a whole team behind you. I don't care if it's Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady or whoever it is. Okay? If you don't have that team, you got nothing. Okay? So, could have taken care of number one, real easy. Okay. No one missed a paycheck. Okay, and again, I applaud my partners for supporting that.
I love that.
And you know what happened? We came out of that pandemic, our business skyrocketed. Absolutely skyrocketed.
Okay.
Do the right thing, even when it's hard.
Your employees could have, like many people did, they could have just gotten unemployment.
Yeah. Wouldn't have been as much as they got with a regular paycheck. But again, I will applaud our employees because they came here. We spit-shined everything. We did things that you don't have time or manpower to do in the course of being open 365 days a year, 15 hours a day. I mean, and they came out. We got on scaffolding. We cleaned the rafters. We did this. We did that. We wrote curriculum. We spit-shined this. We did things. They came out. They came out, and it wasn't 8 hours a day. It certainly wasn't 40 hours a week. But the team kept together. The team kept together, and they said, let's make the most out of this situation. Okay, so
I love it.
yeah, it was the worst thing that could ever happen, but probably the best story that you can't make up that story. You can't make up that story, and only crisis brings out stories like that and happenings like that. And I'm sure it's happening down in North Carolina right now. I'm sure it's happening in bunches and in little things. Same way it happened here when we got hit by the tornado in '99. Okay, which by the way, our club suffered severe damages at the time as well.
In '99.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a connection to what's going on in North Carolina and the flooding?
No, I really don't. I mean, I know some people that own business down there. They're Cincinnatians, by the way. They just built a boutique hotel down there, and I did talk to them last night. Their hotel, it's right downtown Asheville, was not damaged. Consequently, they're using it as Checkpoint Charlie. All the police officers, all of the rescue people, they're all staying at the hotel. They don't have water, things of that nature yet, but they're all there, and then they're pitching in and getting things, making sure that they're getting things done. Okay, obviously, the police force needs to be there to prevent the looting and all of that stuff. So they're taking care of all of that stuff that's going on. Again, it's a Cincinnati connection that's doing the right thing. Okay, and many people are doing the right thing down there. But, so that's I thought of that. I thought of our situation with not only the tornado, but with the shutdown, with COVID, when I thought of my friends down there.
Good. So you talked about team and doing the right thing for the sake of the team. Talk to me about the sacrifice, things that you have given up for this venture.
Well, you know, if you work 70 hours a week, you're giving up a lot in terms of your family. Okay,
Are you married?
I am married.
How long have you been married?
46 years.
Now, 70 hours a week. Does your wife invest that much time here, or is she in
No,
another venture?
she used to spend some time here, but she doesn't
Some
spend much time now.
Okay.
Here. But
So
again, yeah.
70 hours a week, you're
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
How'd that
So-
affect your marriage?
Well, first of all, my wife was in business. She understands. She understands, okay? And the beauty of that is you still make time for the things that you need to make time for. Okay? Kids are going on a field trip when they're in 5th grade. Okay? I can go on a field trip.
You're there.
Okay, fine. So that means I do payroll until midnight tonight, and so what? I do. So, kids are going to play a tennis tournament in Detroit. Okay, fine. Okay, just make it up over here. That's the beauty of, the being your own boss. Okay, you don't take the time away. You just restructure things. So, routine becomes different. And that's probably the biggest sacrifice, okay? And obviously, if your life partner doesn't buy into that, then there's potential for conflict. But I've been supported by a wife that understands, okay? That she understands and she pitches in wherever I need her. If I need this or that or whatever, and she's been very, very helpful through the years. And used to when we were younger, she was, very visible here and very involved in things. She might be a little tougher boss than I am.
No doubt. No doubt. Many times they are. Sure. What kind of things would your children say about you as a husband, a father, and a boss?
Well, that's a good question, okay? And obviously you'd have to ask them, but we're very close. I think they would say that certainly as a father, they've always come first. As a boss, they would probably say a couple of things. Number one, you work too much. Number two, you bend over backwards for everybody. Okay, and they're a little protective of daddy. They're a little bit protective of daddy.
So I want to dig in there because this idea that your children would say you bend over backwards for everybody. Would that be a commendation or a complaint from them?
I don't think it would be a complaint. I think it would be a commendation. You do sometimes you do too much, and you're taking something away from yourself for doing. Like I said, they're looking out for daddy a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they see the sacrifice.
I said, on a more direct basis, for instance, okay, if and I travel a decent amount. We do some international events with, and my son travels with me. Okay, Dad, don't lift that suitcase. Okay. So let's get to that point, okay? And of course, Dad says, "Hey, I'm not an old man. I'm still in the gym every day. I can lift my own damn suitcase."
Okay.
Okay, but no, Dad, don't do that. Okay. Okay, Dad, you don't have to take that call at 10 o'clock at night. Well, that can wait. Let me do it, Dad. No. So that type of thing. Okay.
So they want to not only ensure that you're okay and that you're doing well, but they want to relieve the burden when they can.
Yeah, they do want to. I'll give you a perfect example, okay? After 50 years in all the automation that there is, the one thing that I insist on doing, and I just finished just 2 minutes ago before you and I started, is payroll, okay? I hate doing payroll. I hate doing payroll. But I do it because this is something that I need to be directly informed with and know everything about it. Okay, that's just me. Okay, and my son says, "Dad, I'll do payroll. I'll do payroll." And when I'm gone and not here, he does do payroll. Okay, but you don't have to step up and do payroll. I'll do the payroll. I'll do the payroll. So that type of thing.
So I want to stop there because I definitely want to go back to this idea about balance, because you're talking about 70 hours a week. I mean, and people, and especially in ministry, people talk about balance, work life, home life, personal life, and people say strike a balance. I'm one of the ones who believes that balance is overrated. I think that when you have chosen something and it is your life and you give yourself to it, there's not a lot of balance. When it comes to ministry, I think I spend more time doing the work of the ministry than I spend time with my wife and children. Now, I think the wife and children time is quality time, and I think that matters a lot, but there's no balance in that. So if you're spending 70 hours a week, as compared to the time that you spend with your wife and with your children in one-on-one personal things, that doesn't seem like balance. What do you say to that?
I said balance is overrated.
You agree with me?
I agree 100% with you. My balance is my balance. And one of the, this is kind of funny, but I see this all the time. You want to talk about balance, okay? So a Procter or a GE executive retires, age 56, age 57. The wife has been here playing tennis while they're working. I said, "How's retirement going?" She says, "Oh, he's messing up my routine. I got to worry about him now." Okay? So we develop our own niche and our own thing. And balance is a lot up here. It's up here. And sometimes it's a cop-out. Sometimes it's a total cop-out. And I think, and I'll be maybe crucified by some for saying this, but I think it's been drummed into younger generation. Balance, balance. Don't tell me what my balance is, okay? And don't convince somebody that this fits all. It doesn't fit all. It doesn't fit all at all. My balance is my balance, okay? And the time that I spend with my children, it may not be, I come to work every day at 6:30. I leave for work by 6:30 in the morning, okay? Which means when my kids were little, guess what? I didn't have breakfast with them, okay? I didn't take them to school, okay? Does that mean I shortchanged them? No, my partner had that. That's part of the balance.
Okay.
That's part of the balance, okay? The family unit works as a team too, okay? All right, fine. You know what? My wife can't go on this field trip. Okay, I can go. So you balance comes in a lot of different dimensions.
So everybody's playing their role.
Everybody's playing their role.
Everyone does their part. So every joint supplies is what the scriptures say.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that.
That's my idea of balance, okay? And if somebody else likes to go on a 2-hour bike ride a day, or whatever it is, or they want to read for 2 hours, okay? That's fine. That's what they want to do. If I want to spend that time on my passion, which is my business, that's my balance. Okay, now I may be a dinosaur, and I'm a dinosaur in a lot of ways, okay? I don't have a computer in my house, okay? I have my cell phone, but again, my thinking is 70 hours at work, okay? Whatever I'm not, so.
When you're home, you're home.
My balance is my balance. Okay. So I've got real, some people would call archaic ideas about all of this balanced stuff, about all of this, you know, and I understand that our society is far more complicated now than it was in the 50s when I was in grade school. I understand that. Okay, but I think people play to it a lot and say that, oh, we should have these problems. Okay, you know, I mean, don't tell me that I should be depressed after this happens. Okay, maybe some people are, but don't convince everybody that, okay, when this happens you should be depressed, because it's not necessarily the case. Okay. So again, different people. Don't talk me into a condition that doesn't necessarily exist for everybody. Okay.
Boy, y'all just heard some wisdom right there.
Well, you see
the Italian stallion coming out, don't you? You see, they get a little frisky. I like it. Let's go deeper. So, when you're doing payroll, you're saying to me that it's something that you hate doing. Now, one school of thought says, focus on your strengths and the things that you aren't good at or don't like to do, write the check. Let someone else do it. But you're saying because you want to know the information, maybe that it's done, that people have gotten this, there's something part that you want to know that you get out of doing payroll, you're willing to do the thing that you hate to do.
Well, and first of all, you know, I was a math major in college, okay? So I was a math teacher, okay? So
so numbers are your thing, whether you enjoy them or not.
Numbers are my thing, okay? And when I say I don't enjoy it, I get tremendous satisfaction out of seeing this person and looking at the bottom of that and saying, wow, this is what they're getting paid this week. I get tremendous satisfaction out of that. I'm very, very upset with current practices where nobody gets a paycheck. It shows up in their bank account. One of the greatest things, I always tell a story, okay? I had a young kid that worked for us. Came to work in the summer. He was 15 years old. Came from a very wealthy family. They wanted him to do the right thing and learn how to work and be responsible at a young age. When I handed him his first paycheck, his eyes lit up like a Christmas tree. That is, I mean, this was 30 years ago, and it's still very significant to me, okay? And I'm going off a little bit, but we're deprived of that now with the automatic. You put it in a bank account.
The direct deposit.
So nobody sees the paycheck anymore.
So you are doing direct deposit though.
We are doing direct deposit,
okay.
Because our company has 1,000 employees and we have to do that.
Gotcha.
Okay, but anyhow, so I'm getting, so even though I don't like doing payroll, I get tremendous satisfaction out of seeing, wow. Okay, I just did payroll, and one of the people got a sizable bonus. It makes me so happy.
Okay.
So there's the good stuff. It's just the tedium of the whole thing. Mm-hmm. Okay, and again, because of my thing, I do it. You know, I do it at 10 o'clock at night at home, and then whatever isn't done or hasn't been turned in, or them, I come in early in the morning and finish it up. So it's not the process itself, it's the inconvenience of it probably, okay? But I get tremendous satisfaction out of seeing these people, knowing where they were, where they are, okay? And of course I can monitor and find out when they're dropping down and look, payroll's important, okay?
Sure.
I don't want a computer telling me what the payroll is, okay? I want to know firsthand. I want to know first. If I'm doing it and I see this guy's off, I know he's off. okay, so I can direct it right away, okay? If I'm looking at a printout sheet, it's not as impactful as when I've done it myself and I see the ups and the downs.
Okay, I want to press you just a bit.
Okay?
I want to speak to the employee that is dissatisfied with their pay. And I want to come from it. I want to come from this perspective because you've been sharing stories, so let's share a story. So I came to you not long ago, and without mentioning any names, I had a problem with one of your employees, one of the instructors here. And that instructor felt the need to berate a guest that I had brought and my teammate. I felt they were being berated, and one of the angles was a complaint that the instructor had about how little they get paid as compared to the frustration they're now dealing with us not following a rule that was implemented during a practice. And this kind of turned into a thing and a thing to the point where I came to you and talked to you about it. How did it impact you, this idea that an employee of yours was dissatisfied with their pay?
Well, first of all, let me back up and I will say this. That employee makes more money than I do.
Now, without hitting rewind on this podcast, I'm going to ask Mr. Steve Contardi to rewind, and please say that again, sir.
That employee makes more money than I do.
Did y'all hear what he just said?
Now, let me say something else.
Continue.
That employee earns every dime. So no begrudging.
Long hours, a lot of work.
Employee, okay. But part of your person, I gotta be careful, okay? That's my response, okay? And
I love the response, by the way. Continue.
And this happens on more than one occasion with this particular employee.
Okay.
This is not the first time. That probably is said to somebody at least a half a dozen times a year over a period of 25 years.
That's once a month for 25 years.
Okay.
That this particular employee that we're talking about has a complaint to somebody else about their pay while making more than Mr. Contardi does. Let's roll.
So, again, with all employees, you weigh positives, you weigh negatives.
Okay.
Okay, I addressed the situation of how she handled the situation. In terms of her remark, all I do is, again, high road. Okay, when I do that payroll, I always send that note that says, nice going, congratulations, you are our top earner again. Okay?
So I love this. So what you're doing right now is, in that scenario, you let the numbers tell the story. You're actually actively refusing to believe the story of I don't earn enough. You're letting the numbers tell you what's going on in that employee's life.
And look, it's because that person knows that's not a truism.
Okay.
That person knows. The violin is just out. Okay?
I'm playing this one. He pulled out the big violin. I'm pulling out the small one.
So, you know, that's, and again, it's as a boss, it's something that you deal with, okay? And I address the problem, okay? Now that remark, you know, is, like I said, it's just it's a knee jerk, and it's just you know, I mean, how many times do something happens and somebody says, I don't get paid enough for this, Okay,
Sure.
which is, who's to say whether you get paid enough or not? Okay, but in this particular case, so that's it's unfortunate at any time that an employee would talk to a client or even make any reference to a client around a client about, if you're unhappy, you come to the boss and you get taken care of. But this is, again, it just there's a history, and it's
Gotcha.
and it's something. It's not, like I said, the main issue, as far as I'm concerned, is not that flippant remark. The main issue was how the situation was not properly handled with our guests and our members.
I appreciate that on so many levels. I appreciate your honesty and your transparency. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
I want to talk about the work that you did in letting the numbers tell you what's true in that scenario with the employee. Because to say they make more money than I do, it's one thing to say it, but to actually see it with your own eyes means that you're not just saying something because you want to believe that it's true. You can actually see the numbers. So how that translates with our ministry in Powerful Living Ministries, we teach a distinction that's called not believing stories. So if I have a confrontation with someone and the person says something about me, here's a good example. Someone wrote a comment in one of my videos and says blah 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 about this person that I was discussing in my video, and he says he did the right thing, you're just trying to be nosy. That was said about me. You're just being nosy is what was said about me. Now when I read that comment, I got two options. I can either take offense to someone saying to me, you're just being nosy, or I can own it. So without going through the whole thing, the idea that I don't believe the story is, first and foremost, being nosy is not a bad thing unless I believe it's a bad thing. I'm going to do the work.
That's right.
For me, and for just to make sure my heart is right, my mind is right, because I don't want to receive the shame unnecessarily. I don't want someone to create an atmosphere that doesn't exist for me. You don't get to create shame in me. Am I supposed to be ashamed of being nosy? No, I don't think so, because I read somewhere in the scriptures where it says that people who require or desire to have certain offices ought to have these kinds of things going on in their lives. They shouldn't have these kinds of things going on in their lives. And how in the world will we know what kind of things are going on in their lives, Steve Contardi, unless we begin to be nosy?
What's
So I
what's
did
the
the
line
work.
between being nosy and being knowledgeable?
Yes.
Being informed.
I think
Okay.
I think the line is the motive, right? So
The motive is the line.
to be knowledgeable and to be informed requires being nosy, digging into
Yeah,
it,
got it.
right? Gathering the information is being nosy, unless I believe the lie that says being nosy means something else. Being nosy means you're a gossiper. Being nosy means you're trying to discover dirt on somebody.
Right.
Why does being nosy mean I'm just trying to discover dirt? How about being nosy means I'm trying to discover
That's right.
dirt or light?
Whatever comes up.
Whatever comes up.
That's it.
How has that desire to gain knowledge showed up for you as a struggle in these kinds of scenarios with your people?
Well, when you manage people, everybody is different. I had a very good friend who was a extremely successful coach, and that was my primary, my first ambition was to be a high school football coach.
Okay, that was your first joy, first desire.
And I did coach.
Okay.
I coached. I taught high school. I taught mathematics, and I coached football, basketball, and tennis. But the tennis business took me in this direction. But my friend is a very, very successful coach. He had a 56-game win streak in high school in Wisconsin.
That's a lot of games.
It's a lot of games. Yep. And he said, "You don't treat everybody alike." He said, "There's kids that I have to baby. There's kids that I have to explain. There's kids that I gotta root them in the butt. And there's kids I just leave alone." Everybody's personality is different. Everybody reacts differently. If I treat everybody this way, then I'm on the same level with 1/3 of the people. I adapt, okay, and if I'm good enough at adapting, and the key there is, how do I do that and not have somebody say, "You don't treat us all the same"? But so anyhow, that's the same in business, okay?
So you don't treat us all the same, that could come across as an accusation.
It could. Treat them all fairly.
Okay.
There's a difference. There's a difference, okay? This may require a firm talking to for this personality. For this personality, I might have to handle it with kid gloves a little bit more. With this personality, I can say, that's BS. Okay, so the result is all intended to be the same, so the same across the board. But okay, it's okay. I can. How do I get a product of 81? I can say 9 times 9, or I can say 27 times 3, or I can say 45.5 times 2.
Wow.
Okay?
Okay.
I get the same result. Okay?
So you own the mantra of you don't treat everybody the same. You just own it.
Yeah.
Because it's true and it's factual.
Exactly. Okay. I treat everybody fairly. The result is the same. The way I get there, some it's a direct route, some it's around the block, some of it might be circle the block a couple of times before I go and knock on the door. Okay? Make sense?
Makes sense to me.
Okay? Nobody's ever going to put that in a book. Nobody's ever going to put that. But again, that's also my personality. Okay? That's my personality.
So let's wrap it up then. Mr. Contardi, almost 80 years old.
Yeah.
You get to speak to all of the people who are going to be watching the Powerful Living Outreach Ministries podcast. And you get to sign off with famous last words, words of encouragement, with my average age group. I'll probably say my average age of my listeners and ministry partners is, I would probably say, average of 35 to 40 years. What would you say to us from the lessons that you've learned from being here at Harper's Point Tennis Club and your age and the things that you've experienced? How would you sign off, and what words of encouragement would you have for us?
Wow. In a couple of words, probably impossible. But the number one, live your life. Don't be afraid to fail.
Okay.
Better to try and fail than not try. You can't reach potential. Okay. Next would be take a good look at the things that really matter.
On hers.
No? You know what I drive? I drive a 15-year-old 12-passenger van. Okay? Just, I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care. It's a club vehicle. I didn't feel like it. I don't care.
Okay.
I've been there, done that. Okay? And when all the smoke clears, doesn't matter. I had a good buddy that was a very, very big time football player, made a lot of money. And when he was playing, he drove fancy cars. When he quit playing, he was smart enough to know that doesn't matter. And I don't have the financial wherewithal now going forward to do that. So it doesn't matter. Been there, done that. Okay? So take a look at what really, really matters. Okay? Next, it would be the golden rule. Okay? Because you don't want to look back when you're my age and say, geez, I screwed that guy over. Feel bad about that. Okay, I guess it's good if they do recognize that,
Okay.
as opposed to having done it and not recognize it. And then the next thing would be, you know, I guess I covered what really matters. Yes. Okay, and the next would be more to people my age, and I will quote Clint Eastwood.
Get off my lawn.
Almost. Don't let the old man in. Don't let the old man in. Toby Keith, rest his soul, wrote a song about don't let the old man in. It's just a number. It's just a number.
Unpack that for me.
Okay? Age. Age. Don't let the old man in. I don't care. Clint Eastwood is, you know, what, and he keeps going.
He's still going.
Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Mm.
So anyhow, so I kind of probably a lot of last couple of words, wisdom to live by, but
okay.
you know, life goes through different stages. But the big thing is do your own thing. Don't be afraid to fail. Along the way, make sure you treat people and yourself the right way.
That is a mantra of this ministry. Love others as you love yourself. That means you take care of yourself. You treat yourself well. You admonish and nourish yourself. Do that for other people.
Exactly right.
That's what the scriptures say.
And that's true, and you have to take care of yourself. And you know, I say that in business too. If I don't take care of the business, I can't take care of my employees. Okay, so, you know, so in business, profit is not a dirty word.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Profit allows you to do the other things. Okay, take care of your employees. Okay, take care of other things that you do with your money.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's good. So anyhow, so I ramble a little bit on that, but you know, look, it's, and you can look at life as, oh, life is hard. Yeah, but it's what we make of it too. Okay, I tell my employees,
The initial test showed no cancer.
it's mind over matter. No matter what goes on in your life, when you walk through the door at Harper's Point, you put a smile on your face. This is everybody else's happy place. Okay, and again, it's you figure out how to leave your baggage outside
Very good.
when you come to work. And that's true in life in general. we have problems. Put that in this little compartment over here, okay? Because the truth of the matter is, no matter where we are in the United States here, we're pretty darn lucky. We're pretty lucky. We don't have it bad. Could we all have it better? Yeah. Okay, but it starts right here. It starts right in your brain. Find joy in the little things. Okay? Find joy in the people. Okay? This has been really, really fun for me. Okay? This has been a very, very fun hour here talking with you and talking about these things, and quite frankly, making me stop and think about some of the things that, I mean, I don't think of the questions you ask me. I don't think about those things, okay? But when you ask me, yeah, all right. So maybe I found out a little bit about me too.
That's good. Y'all heard it here first from Mr. Steve Contardi. He says, leave your problems at the door. They will be there when you get back.
Thank you,
Contardi, Henry Flowers
awesome.
here. I enjoyed it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Okay, and by the way, he's got a wicked left-handed forehand.
Speak to the camera there.
That he wants me to speak to the camera too. Henry's got a wicked left-handed forehand. He really does, okay? And he does a great version of my way, which he did just specially for me, and I thank you.
Did we not kill that or
You
what?
killed
Bro,
it.
we
Yes,
killed
you
it.
did.
We killed it together.
Let's start a band.
We're gonna do it. Get the band back together. Henry Flowers here with Steve Contardi, Powerful Living Outreach Ministries. Y'all, you already know it. I ain't going nowhere. I'm coming back. Hello, friend. Thank you so much for being with us in this podcast over the airwaves of YouTube or wherever you find your podcasts. Thank you so much for being a part. Make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, and feel free to share this information with anyone who you believe could use a little bit more power in their lives. Speaking of power, be sure to join us on Sunday mornings as we gather together in the Cincinnati area at 5616 Wolfpen Pleasant Hill Road in Milford, Ohio. We will be in the upper room at General Dentistry. 10:30 a.m. on Sunday mornings is when we gather together. We have an empowerment session immediately after the broadcast. This is where the true powerful living is put into practice. If you want to come together and work on something with me, one-on-one coaching in a group setting, then you want to be a part of the empowerment sessions. I cannot tell you how many testimonies and how much transformation has occurred as a result of these empowerment sessions. You want to be here. The church, being the church, people coming in with their stuff, working on it with me using biblical principles and getting real transformation in real time so that we ourselves can be empowered, then we can be able to go and empower others. My friend, that is what powerful living is. So you definitely want to join us in the empowerment sessions in person, and also you can join us live via Zoom, and the Zoom information is in the description box. Join us 10:30 a.m. every Sunday Eastern Standard Time. Look forward to seeing you there. Many of you have been asking how you can give and support Powerful Living Ministries. I have a few options for you. I often go and speak to our young people who are just living in desperate times. I'm not really sure if I would want to be a young person living in these times with these societal norms that are just banging at the door of their moral houses, and they need help. So the help that I deliver when I go and speak to these young people are through powerful testimonial speeches, motivational speeches, whatever you want to call it, but biblical principles and same things I deliver in the empowerment sessions and in the podcast is what I deliver when I speak to colleges and high schools. Now, I often go and speak about what I wrote in my book, which is titled Bored to Death. 5 steps to gear up and be about that life. This is a pulling together of personal stories, things that I have lived through, and how I went from where I was living on the streets of Detroit and how I survived the streets of Detroit and created a life that I love. When I had all of the obstacles in my way, I had the perfect recipe to become a statistic. How did I overcome? What did I do? Well, those questions are answered in my book, Bored to Death, in 5 easy steps. I share these steps with young people and I get transformation and I see transformation. Their lives are empowered on a daily basis. This is powerful living in action when I go and speak to these young people. Now, how you can come alongside is a couple of ways. You can obviously give directly to this ministry if you want to reach out to us, powerfulliving2022@gmail.com. You can reach out to us directly and just say, hey, Henry, how can I support your ministry financially? Also, you can text us or call, but likely a text would be better, at 513-404-7793. Leave us a message and just tell us, I'd like to be involved financially. How can I support your ministry? And we'll get back to you there as well. Also, you can contact us about purchasing copies of my book so that when I go and speak to the young people in high school, sometimes I'll do middle schools, but most of the time it's high school and college, and those who are usually financially constrained and don't have the opportunity to purchase my book. If you purchase my book, every book that you purchase will be an opportunity for me to put another copy of my books in the hands of our young people, and so they can take home the message that I deliver in person, and they can be empowered and study and see what I did to create a life that I love, and therefore they'll be able to see themselves doing it as well. That's powerful living, and my friend, that is powerful giving. And I hope you will take us up on that opportunity. If you have feedback and you'd like to suggest a show topic, content ideas, if you have questions, if I said something that you don't agree with, whatever it is, whatever kind of feedback that you'd like to give, bring it. You can email us, powerfulliving2022@gmail.com. You can call us at 513-404-7793. However you get your information to us, just understand I will respond to you directly. I am open. Questions, concerns, show ideas, topics, anything you have in reference to feedback, you let me know. And especially, tell us how this ministry has powerfully impacted your life, and I will likely share that on a live broadcast. Thank you so much for being a part of this ministry. I can't wait to see these empowerment sessions pop up all over the country, all over the world, and all over the lives of people. Powerful living is there for you and me. Thank you, my friends. God bless you.